Hi guys, how are you? In this video, let's understand and analyze the Q3 FY26 results of BLS International Services Limited. Talking about business overview and business model, we have already talked this on our channel. I've made a full-length video on this. You can also check it out. I'll also give the link in the description. But I'll give a brief about this company and what does it do to generate revenue. Firstly, they have two segments, visa and consular services, and other segment is of digital services. In the first segment, visa and consular, so generally, most of the governments or embassies outsource their visa application process end to end to the public and private companies. Companies have to bid in the tenders done by governments or embassies. Now, whenever they win the bids, right, they get this part of end to end visa application process. Now, BLS International Services has won many contracts and has been a visa outsourcing partner of many governments, not only India, not only Ministry of External Affairs, but also of many different countries as well. Let's talk about the revenue part. How do they generate revenue? Coming to the visa part, whenever I or you apply the visa, right, we pay the visa application fee. Some part of visa application fee will go to BLS and some part will go to the government or embassy. That depends on the service level agreement. Talking about the second part, digital services, there are n number of services that are provided by BLS, and every service has processing fee. Every service has registration or different types of fees. You can also check on the screen what are the types of services which BLS is offering in digital services. Now, talking about Q3 results, on a combined level of both visa and digital services, revenue has increased by 44% and PAT has increased by 33%. Now let's understand segment by segment. Visa and consulate services has gained 20% in revenue YOY. Now the revenue is like 440 crores, and the EBITDA margin has increased to 40% from 37%. And there are many drivers. Let's understand why the revenue has been increased. Because of the applications, number of applications have been increased to 10.7 lakhs. YOY basis, we see a 18% growth. On a YOY basis, we see 18% growth. And in terms of net revenue per application as well, we see around 40% growth. That is, now the revenue per application, visa application, net revenue per application is around 3,300. Before it used to be 2,000 or change. Now talking about digital services, we see 110% growth YOY basis in revenue. Now, Adifidless, the recent acquisition, the acquisition which was done in FY25 has almost given 200 crores top line revenue for digital services part. In Q3, the digital services has done 287 CR and most of it is coming from Adifidless. However, we see the EBITDA margins have been reduced from 12% to 6%. Overall consolidated revenue was 283 CR. However, on a PAT margin level, there is a contraction from 25% to 23% because of more of the revenue is coming from digital services, which is a low margin provider. Before it used to be. Now talking about the EBITDA margins as well, we can understand EBITDA margins of visa consulate services is around 40% from 37 that has grown. But however, in digital services, it has come down. It has come down from 12 to 6% because of the recent acquisitions. It's giving good volumes, it's giving good revenue top line as well, but the PAT margins are getting contracted. Also, if we see the P&L, right, there's a one-off cost that is in employee benefit expenses. Employee benefit expenses in Q3 FY25 was 80 CR and now it is 123 CR. The increase was due to the UIDI and the digital services expansion. Company has hired a lot of people for UIDI, Aadhaar Kendras, and also as it is a manpower heavy, the government projects are manpower heavy. We can see the employee benefit expenses got increased very much significantly, and management has also clarified that this is not a one-off cost. It will be recurring. This will be stable. It's around 15% of total revenue FY25, and now in FY26 and continuing as well, we can see this kind of employee benefit expenses around 15-16%. In terms of digital services, the revenue has increased, but what are the drivers which contributed to this increase? Firstly, business correspondence gross transaction value has increased to 27,000 from 21,000, and loan leads have been increased. Loan leads, now they're having a loan leads of 9,000 CR, and bank accounts balances got opened with an amount of approximately 10,000 CR. Now, this is not an AUM, this is not the revenue, but however, Talking about business correspondent gross transaction value, right? Whenever there's a service done, whenever there's a bank account opened with certain balance, now BLS in the digital services, they get the processing fee, they get transaction fee, they get transaction fee per every transaction, they get whenever there's a loan lead, right? They give the loan leads to banks or NBFCs, and on the amount sanctioned and the loan disbursed, right, they get some percentage as a commission. So considering all of this or combining all of this consolidatedly, they have gained 287 CR in Q3. Talking about 9 months FY26, revenue in the visa consulate services has been increased by 13%, and the revenue in digital services has increased by 178%. EBITDA margin used to be 34% for 9 months FY25. Now it is 40% for visa services. On the digital segment, again we saw that percentage has come down for 9 months as well. It used to be 14% for 9 months FY25. Now it has come down to 7%. Now that's a concerning thing because the revenue apportionment used to be like 75%, 25%. Now it has come down to 62% and 38% because of the high growth or high revenue contribution by digital services. PAT has been getting contracted. Now let's talk about the future outlook or the order book or the contracts won by BLS International. You can see on the screen that BLS has won the Slovak Republic visa contract. So now they can operate visa application centers in over 80 countries. Now there's a list of countries where the Republic of Cyprus has given this outsourcing contract in multiple countries like South Africa, Zambia, China, Mongolia. There are many countries where now you can, I mean, the people of these respective countries can go to this Republic of Service BLS International application center, and if they want to visit Cyprus, right, they can apply the visa in this BLS outsourced visa application center. BLS got awarded by MEA to establish and operate our visa center, Indian visa application center in China. Now the people in the China can go to the BLS visa application center if they want to visit India. Now they can apply the visa there. And also, the contract with MEA got renewed for attestation and apostille services. Now, what does it mean? Attestation is nothing but whenever we need to send some documents to foreign, right? Now, these need to be attested by our authorities. It could be like state authority, notary, Ministry of External Affairs. So for certain countries, it is called as attestation, and for some other countries, it is called as apostille. Now, who apostilles? MEA apostilles the documents. Considering all of this, the revenue is getting diversified not only by the segments but also by the countries. Revenue diversification by country is good thing, also concerning thing because we need to depend upon respective countries' regulatory policies to earn that revenue. Let's talk about the guidance. Company has reiterated that they are going to grow in 20 to 21% CAGR in the next 5 years. They have made sure that is clear. But talking about acquisitions, right? The Hotel UK acquisition, Trifadian, it was a one-off acquisition. It's an acquisition that was not related to company's regular core operations, but some analyst asked if they are going to acquire more companies like this. They said no, they are conservative on this acquisitions part. They are not going to acquire some other company, or they're not going to diversify in this way. For now they want to focus on this government citizen allied services. That's it. Now let's understand what went good in this quarter. You can see the margins have been improved in the visa consulate space. Revenue has been increased. PAT has expanded. EBITDA margins have expanded in the visa space. The cost efficiency got, I mean, there's an improvement in the cost efficiency as well. Also, management confirmed that the cash resources they had, right, on September 30, they were sitting on this 1300 cash reserves. Now they are having approximately 1400 cash reserves, and also they have declared an interim dividend of 2 rupees per share in this quarter results. Now, what are the things which we need to be concerned about? Firstly, elephant in the room, the margins of digital services, because we need to understand the mix used to be like 75-25. Now it has come down to 60-38. Their target was to balance off with 70% visa and 30% digital. Now that will give a good PAT margin. In the future quarters, we need to see how are they going to balance this revenue mix. also we need to track this regulatory policies or the geographical risk. As the revenue is diversified in multiple countries, right, we need to focus or we need to keep track of geographical risk as well. That is a concerning thing. And also the third thing regarding acquisitions, now they are conservative, and that is a good thing because the hotel part was out of their core operations. Now whatever the whatever the cash application they have to make in terms of new acquisitions, that would be something we would track. And also to see if like Adifedlis or some other companies which are giving only low margin but high revenue, high top line, that is for sure. Now let's also see if they're gonna make new acquisitions, right? Would they be rewarding to companies PAT or return on investment? Now that is also a concerning factor. On a closing note, on a consolidated level, BLS used to be visa outsourcing player. Now it is also focusing on their digital services, government to citizen services. On a standalone basis, BLS Services, International Services is doing good on a visa space. The only concerning part was on the BLS E Services Limited, the Digital Services Part Limited. That is fine. Let's understand. Let's track all of this in the coming quarters. But the question is, the biggest or final question is, how are they gonna balance this mix of between high growth and high profit margins? Thank you. And also, if you want me to analyze any other companies as well, please comment down below. I'll be happy to.